Jamieson. Welcome to our Thursday night lesson on Thursday the 11th of October, the start of fourth term. And I have with me today down there in Tassie, Mitch. How are you, Mitch?
Good, thanks.
That's good. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How old are you?
11,
All right. And what school do you go to?
Montague Bay.
Is that in Hobart?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And do you know your chess kids rating?
Not off my head.
All right. And do you get much chess down there? You played in our chess camp, I think, didn't you?
Yep.
Yep. And what about into school or at your school club? How much do you play?
Our school goes to about one tournament a term.
Okay. All right. So you played a little bit down there, so that's good. All right. So welcome. Now, have you had a go at the puzzle today? The rook and pawn ending? Have you got any thoughts on that? Black to play. Do you think it's going to be a win for black or a draw or a win for white or what?
Win for black.
Okay. And what would the winning move be, do you think?
E5, rook E5.
Rook E5. All right. Let's have a little look at rook E5. Okay. What if white just plays king F3? What are you going to do then?
Start moving your king down to try and attack his rook.
Okay, so you want to play king G7 or something like that, maybe?
Yep.
Okay, hang on. I'm using Chess Microbase for the first time, so let's see how I go. It's not moving for me. Never mind. All right. So what are you going to do after he plays, say, king G7? There we go. Say white plays, I don't know, maybe king F4.
Okay, bring my king down again.
King down again. All right. And the rook's got to run away to H8. Are you winning now?
King down. Oh no, rook down to E4.
Rook check. All right. So I'll just put my king back, say there.
Advance with the pawn.
You're going to advance your what? You're going to advance your pawn?
Yeah.
I might take your rook. I'll tell you what. I have with me in the studio here today, we have Ryan, who's in our super group. Say hello, Ryan.
Hi.
He's decided to stay on to have a sticky beak in our class as well. So, Ryan, do you reckon Mitch has got a win there, or is that drawish?
I think that looks drawish.
Yeah, the king's in front of the pawn, so I think that's probably going to be a draw there. So let's go back to the start. Now, often when you get puzzles or you've got a position in the game that's troubling you or you don't know what to do, I'd say don't just analyse the moves, but try and look at the big picture and see if that'll give you an idea. So let's try doing that. Let's see how we go. So let's say you're black, you want to win, yes?
Yep.
All right. So are you going to be able to get white in checkmate? You got enough material? No, yet. But have you got enough material to get a checkmate if white plays the best moves?
Yeah.
So how are you going to checkmate? You've got a rook, he's got a rook.
Get a pawn, promote a pawn.
His king is in the way of it, and the rook can just take it. So you probably really can't force that pawn through to get a queen, so you're not going to have enough material to checkmate him, I think. All right. So what else can we do? So we can't get a checkmate with just the rook because he's got a rook as well to defend. And we can't get a pawn through to get a queen because he's got it blocked with his king, or his rook can just take it. So the only way we could get a win is if we could somehow win his rook for nothing. What do you think about that? Is that a possibility?
Yeah.
So his rook hasn't got too many squares to go to. So we think, aha, that's probably the only way we're going to do it. So then your brain thinks, all right, what can we do? So rook there is good. So you've stopped his rook getting out and you've protected your pawn. So then he plays up. So now we're in the position. You tried king g7 before and it didn't really work. Is there anything else you think we could try that might help us? We're trying to trap his rook or win his rook. No ideas coming up?
No.
All right, Ryan, can you help him? You got an idea?
I think I like to look at F4.
Very good. F4. You didn't look at that one, Mitch?
I thought of it, but it just kind of slipped my mind.
Yeah. Well, you probably rejected it because you think he just takes the pawn, but then the rook, black rook can take the rook. So if white plays king takes pawn, rook takes rook, and you won. And if he doesn't do that, where's his rook going to go? You know, if it goes here, you go up and you've trapped him. So that's it, you win. Simply rook e5, f4, win for black.
What about rook takes rook?
Ah, all right, so that's the other thing. So if he does rook takes rook, you do pawn takes rook. Now his king can block your pawns, but it can never take that pawn there, because then your pawn will just hoon through.
Okay.
See that? Okay,
Yep.
so you can just move your king up, gobble his pawn, and then you've got 2 pawns to none and you win. So that was quite a cute one. I think on the questions, Heath came up with F4, so Heath solved it, so well done to Heath. So that was good. An interesting little position. All right, now let's go back. I'll see if I can get back to our database. Now you sent me quite a few games, thank you very much. I played through them all, and I think it's fair to say that probably you and your opponents make a fair few blunders. Would that be fair comment?
Yep.
Yeah, so most of your games are decided by mistakes or blunders. Either your opponent makes a blunder and you win, or you make a blunder and he wins. So what I wanted to focus on today was whether we can perhaps have a detailed look at blunders and classify them into different areas, and that might help us sort of spot them. So can you think of a type of blunder that you could make? Any way you can classify blunder?
H4?
No, I'm just thinking in general.
Oh.
Okay, so say you were black in this position, what move would be, say like black played queen here, that would be a blunder, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because the knight would just take the queen. All right, so what type of blunder is that? What has black blundered?
The queen?
Yes. You got any ideas, Ryan, how I'd describe this?
A piece?
A piece. Let's say material.
Yes.
Okay, so you've blundered material. You've lost your queen for nothing, you've lost your rook for a bishop, you've lost a bishop for nothing. So the main sort of blunders is where you blunder material. All right. Now, what other sort of blunder could there be? Can you think of?
Castle?
Think of another.
Oh.
Think of another sort of blunder to do with the king.
Fork?
No, that's a type of tactic. So say like in this position, say you were white and you played pawn up to there, would that be a blunder, and what sort of blunder?
Revealing the king?
Yeah, king safety. So black could just zoom out here, and then before you know it, he's got checkmate coming down there. So I call that a blunder about king safety. So if you make a move that imperils your king safety, that will be another sort of blunder. Okay, now there's 2 more sorts I want to think about. They're not maybe big blunders. Any idea? Or Ryan, you can think of any other blunders? So we've got a blunder material. We blunder where we get our king.
Maybe you blunder time, like.
What do you mean by
Position?
time?
tempo or something.
Ah, Ryan's suggesting losing a tempo. Would that be a blunder? What sort of blunder would we call that? Do you know what a tempo is?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'll show you what happened. One of my students was playing at the novice tournament the other day, and I was watching him, and he was black, and he got this position. So he pinned the knight, and then his opponent said, what are you going to do? Go away, I'm going to take your bishop. So he went back there. So his opponent went there. So he went back there. So his opponent went there. So he went back there. So it's three pretty lousy moves, but what sort of blunder has he made?
Well, just losing turns for free, basically.
Yeah,
Running away.
He's lost time.
Yeah.
He's wasted time by moving the same piece 2 or 3 times. Because one of the things I say to you guys is move each piece only once and put it on the best square, unless it's attacked or something. So he's wasted time. So that's our third sort of blunder. Now, there's one more sort of blunder I'm thinking of. You got any other ideas?
Position.
What do you mean by position?
Like, if your position gets, like, you lose the 2 center pawns early on in the game.
Okay. Let's say we had this position and black took there maybe. What sort of blunder would that possibly be? He's lost something by making that move. He hasn't lost any material. He hasn't made his king unsafe.
Center.
Pretty close. Ryan, you want to have a go?
Space?
Space. Yeah, he's lost space because he's now conceded the centre. So white's got the pawn on the 5th rank and black's given up his advanced pawn, so he's conceded space. So let's go over to this other screen. So there we are. So I'm looking at 4 different sorts of blunders. We've got material, time, space, and king safety. Okay. So we're going to have a look at one of your games today and see if we can spot any blunders. And then when we spot a blunder, we're going to try and classify it into one of those 4 things. Okay. You understand all that?
Yep.
All right, cool. Let's go. So this, you versus Shredder. So I don't know whether you were playing the computer or you just entered the game from the tournament.
I was playing the computer.
Playing the computer. All right. I hope you had him on a low mode because Shredder's pretty strong normally. He can play about 20 if he wants. All right. So you're white. So off we go. You go E4. Knight C6. Okay. That's not a very common move. So you just grab the center like that. And then he played E6. So has black committed a blunder already, or a small blunder perhaps? What do you think?
He gave me space.
Yes, that knight C6 is not putting a pawn in the center, so you've got pawns on D4 and E4, so at the moment you've got all that lovely space. So we could say that that knight C6 was a space blunder. All right, so it's your go here. What move do you think white should play here? Mitch?
Well, I usually do bring one of my knights out.
All right, so you play knight F3 or C3. What would you do, Ryan? What do you think?
Well, I'd probably try and maybe do C4 or F4 maybe.
To gain more space?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, could we do something that could make that knight C6 into a different sort of blunder? Perhaps a time blunder? You got any ideas, Mitch, what we could do to make that a time blunder?
Chase it away with a bishop.
Would a bishop chase it away? So like you play bishop there, I mean, if you take it piece for piece, and then you're losing time.
Yeah.
Because you spent 2 moves
Pawn.
doing what pawn?
The d4 pawn.
Yeah, you could perhaps play pawn to d5. So A, you're gaining space, and B, you're forcing the knight to move again. If you move to e5, maybe you can chase him away with f4. So like if he came here, you could chase him with f4. So now he's wasting time and he's giving you space. So a little bit of a sort of blunder on his part. Okay, but you went knight f3. He moved out his other knight. Okay, what should you do here? He's attacking your e-pawn.
Defend it.
With knight c3 or something like that, you're thinking?
Or queen.
Or queen. Okay, Ryan, should he defend it with his queen?
No, because you don't want to develop your queen too early. What you want to do is develop all your minor pieces, I think.
Yeah. So what makes you think it would be good to move your queen out? Do you do that often?
No, but because it blocks in the bishop.
So you're looking at queen d3 or something, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you understand that generally we don't bring our queen out early because there's so many little pieces on the board. It can be attacked all the time, and then we're going to make it, that'll be a time blunder because his knight maybe will keep attacking our queen and we'll have to move it. So if you wanted to defend, you'd do bishop d3, something like that. But his knight f6, would that be a little blunder? Could we do something to make that a blunder?
Chase his knight away.
Yeah, so again, you could have done e5. Then if his knight comes up, what could you do then?
c4.
Yep, c4. So you're just chasing him away, gaining more time and more space. Okay, so you can see already how if you understand about blunders for time and blunders for space, maybe you would have played a slightly different move in the game, because in the game you just went the normal knight c3, which is okay, but is not really sort of exploiting his little inaccuracy. All right, now he goes up and grabs the centre. What do you think you should do here?
e5.
e5. What do you think, Ryan? e5?
Yeah, it looks okay.
Okay, so let's have a look at e5. Hang on, I'm in the wrong mode. So e5, what would black do?
Well, probably this move is knight to d7.
Okay, knight to d7. So would you be happy with this position, Mitch?
Yes.
Yeah, so why are you happy with this position?
His queen's like almost stuck on that aisle.
Right.
Diagonal. And
Okay.
the knight can't move anywhere except b8 without being taken.
Right.
Oh, and b6.
What's the key factor you've got going for you here? What have you gained that you didn't have before?
Time.
Not really. You've got 2 pieces developed. He's got 2 pieces developed. So what have you gained? Space, yes. Look at that pawn on e5. So you've got more space on the king side. So if he castles king side, you could put a bishop on d3 and maybe knights on g5 and start attacking him because you've got more space over there. So that would have perhaps been a good opportunity. Instead, you played a funny move, queen here. So tell me about that. Do you remember why you did that?
I usually like to castle on my queen's side.
Okay.
So maybe trying to do that.
So you thought you'd defend your pawn and get the queen out so you castle queen side?
Yeah.
Right. Right, is that a good plan?
Not really, because you don't want the castle queen side all the time because, well, first of all, normally the king is safer on the king's side.
Yep. But on the queen side, your rook is going to be probably in a better spot.
Yes, but if you castle queenside, like there's not. He might be able to just attack your king without, just quickly attack all your king and all his pawns and all his pieces, because it's probably going to attack castle's king on the other side.
Okay, well, what I would say is in playing your games of chess, you shouldn't be doing what you like doing, but you should be doing what the position demands. So, you could say, oh, well, I love castling queenside, I'm going to castle queenside, but if it's a wrong position and the queenside's all open or his pieces are massed for an attack there, it's just a bad choice. So you should say, in this position, is this the sort of position where my king's going to be safe on the queen side or safe on the king side? So like Ryan says, maybe the king side in general is the safer way to go. So just have a think about that. All right, anyway, you went queen e2, and there's another reason why queen e2 probably isn't the best move. Do you know what the other reason might be? In fact, I might say queen e2 is a blunder, but what sort of a blunder?
Time?
Nope. What do you think he's going to reply? Let's say he takes your pawn, which is the obvious move, and you take him back. What do you think he could do now?
Take the d4 pawn.
Yeah. So isn't that just a free pawn for him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So not only is queen e2 sort of probably a bad spot for the queen, but it loses the pawn. So it's a material blunder. So e5 would have been the way to go. All right, so you did queen e2. So never mind. He took. You took. Now he didn't take. So he's made a sort of counter blunder. He had a chance to win material, so he's missed a good opportunity. So apart from that, would knight takes knight be a good move for black? Apart from the fact that he could win a pawn otherwise, what do you think? Or would that be a blunder too?
It kind of opens the centre.
So it's swapping pieces for piece. The pieces are equal value.
Brings my queen out into the game a bit more.
Okay,
and
does that make it a particular sort of blunder?
Space.
What do you think, Ryan? Is knight takes knight a space blunder or a different sort of blunder?
I'm not quite sure.
I'd say probably it's a time blunder, because White's recapturing with a developing move, putting his queen on a better square and letting White's bishop out, and now he can't really chase your queen away with any good moves. So he's like giving you a free move. So I reckon it's a time blunder. You understand that?
Yes.
Yep. All right. Cool. So let's see what happens. So you got out that one. He didn't take your pawn, so that was all right. He went bishop d7. What do you think of that move? Why did he go to d7? What would his reason be?
Protecting the knight.
So is that a good plan?
Well, kind of blocks the queen in.
Yeah. So you wouldn't do it, or you would do it, or you think it's a good move or a bad move or an average move?
I wouldn't do it just yet.
Wouldn't do it just yet. Okay.
I'd wait till they do bishop b5.
Okay. What do you think, Ryan?
Well, I think it's almost the only spot you can develop the bishop.
But the question is it that bishop's turn to develop? Or should we develop another piece?
I think you develop the f8 bishop first.
Yes, yes. So what Black's done is maybe he's worried about your bishop to b5, as we talked about. So he's thinking, oh my God, he's going to come out here and pin that knight and threaten to take it. But you don't stop something before he threatens it if you can easily get out of it. So he would now just play bishop d7 and there's no threat at all. And the bishop on b5 probably isn't the greatest spot for the bishop. So he sort of made a bit of a mistake there. So moving the other bishop, maybe bishop e7 or something, would be better. All right, so a little bit of a mistake from him. So your go, you put your bishop out. That looks okay spot for the bishop. Now he plays a funny move, if I can get my mouse working properly. He plays bishop check. What do you think about that one, Mitch?
I wasn't expecting that, really.
Okay, so is it a good move and he's caught you unawares, or is it a bad move and he's wasting time, or what?
I think he's just wasting time.
Okay. So what are you going to reply to it?
Maybe move pawn up or bishop to defend.
Well, bishop to defend, which should be better, Ryan? Pawn up like that or dropping the bishop back?
I think pawn up, because then it chases the bishop away, so really waste time for him. And if you drop the bishop back, you move that bishop twice.
Yeah, so you got that bishop developed on a nice square on f4. So, I mean, you don't really want to take him off there. So he's in a good spot there. So drop him back, you'd be just swapping bishop for bishop and wasting time. So c3 is what you did. So that's the right move. That's strengthening your pawn chain and protecting that d4 pawn and forcing the bishop to move again. All right, so now he went back there. Now he's thinking about a swap of bishops again. So let's get people's ideas here. So it's Mitch's move as white. Should he swap that bishop on d6, or should he let the other guy take Mitch's bishop on f4? So everyone on the questions, type in swap or not swap, depending on what you think. And then we'll see what Mitch and Ryan think. So I want swap or not swap. Heath's gone not swap, Sam's not swap, Benji not swap, Evan not. So that's 4 nots. Ramon's not, Bradley not. Looks like everyone's going against the swap. Okay, do you remember what you did, Mitch?
No.
Okay, guess what? You swapped. All right, now everyone's saying not swap. So let's have a talk to someone, see if Sam's there. Sam, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, now you said not swap, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right, so Mitch wants to swap, because that's what he did in the game. So you explain to him why you don't want to swap. Tell us what's wrong with it.
Because if you swap, then you're letting him recapture with the c pawn and getting 2 points side by side.
Yes. Any other reason?
And you're swapping your better bishop for his badder bishop.
Okay, all right. Well, that's 2 pretty good reasons. So thank you, Sam. Excellent. Well done. So Ryan, what do you think? You wouldn't swap?
No, I don't think I will. Because you have time to do something else instead. So you can let him waste the time for
swapping. All right, now there was another reason. So Sam said he wouldn't swap because that gives black 2 pawns side by side. So, whoops, hang on, I'm in the wrong mode here. Let me just undo that. And the other reason would be it's getting rid of his good bishop for the bad bishop, but there's a third reason why he might want to swap. Can you think what that might be? So we go swap, swap. So how's that help black and not help white?
Well, maybe he has the potential to maybe advance his pawn and gain some more space. Okay,
what do you think, Mitch? How has that helped black? And you've got a different reason from the ones that Sam has said?
Does it give another diagonal for black's queen?
Not really. The main thing is, so let's go back. So here, black has a C pawn. right, on c7. So that's a sort of okay pawn, but it's only a c pawn. It's not like a vital middle pawn. But now he's got a pawn on d6, which is controlling sort of more of the middle important centre squares, like e5 and c5, for instance. So see, this pawn is now controlling these two centre squares. Okay, whereas before, the pawn was only controlling this square and this square, which is less important. So there's three reasons why swapping probably wasn't the best. But never mind, so little errors, so that, let's see what happens now. So your go, what do you think you should play here?
Move my bishop out.
All right. So what do we say when we're trying to decide? We know we want to move the bishop out so we can castle. So what question do we ask ourselves to work out where we want to put the bishop?
Where's the best square for it?
Yep. All right. So what's the best square for it?
Maybe d3.
D3. What do you think, Ryan?
I don't think d3 controls that much. The queen already controls. Well, yeah, maybe a good square, but
So where would you put it? You're not sure?
not really.
Right. Well, I think D3 is obviously the best square because it and the queen are lined up on that nice diagonal. He might castle and you can checkmate him next move, but D3 is the best square. What you did is you made a little bit of a boo-boo. I'll get my mouse working properly again. You went to C4, which is what sort of a boo-boo? Can you tell me, Mitch, what sort of a boo-boo is that?
Time.
No, because he has a really good reply. You've forgotten to say what's he going to reply. Or has he? No, wait a minute. Maybe I'm wrong here. I'm thinking D5.
Same.
But it's pinned. So maybe it isn't losing material. Because he could probably play bishop takes. But is it the best square? Let's go back to this is the best square then. So where is your bishop going on C4?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. It's sort of bumping into his pawn chain. So what he did was castle. So now he's threatening D5. Okay, so it would have been much better than on D3, I think. But, so, what should he do here? Ryan, what do you think?
Well, maybe he should castle too.
No, that's a material blunder. You'd lose a bishop.
D3, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we even admit our mistake and drop back to bishop D3 and force him to defend the checkmate. You came up with another plan, which Daniel Pobb has just suggested as well, D5. Okay, is that a good idea or a bad idea, or got any drawbacks? What do you think, Mitch? Talk to me about D5.
It could work quite well.
What's going to be good about it?
Having a fight, pinning the F7 pawn.
Pinning it. Oh, it's a long way away at the moment. Looks quite happy where it is. What do you think he's going to reply? You're attacking his knight. He played F5. Funny move. Maybe it's all right move. He could just take on D5, and if you take him back with your queen, then he could check you and sort of exploit the fact that you haven't castled yet. Maybe you'll trap your king in the middle a bit. Might be a little bit of a pickle. Anyway, he went for F5. Looks a bit weird, but never mind. You drop back. Now his knight's attacked, so he comes up with takes. He took with the bishop. Is that the best one, bishop or queen? What do you think?
Queen.
Why do you think queen now?
Gets more space.
Not not really. What would be the advantage of taking with the queen?
You have your bishop behind it.
And are you attacking anything else as well?
The b7 pawn.
The d6 pawn.
Oh,
So if you did queen takes, he ran away, you could either castle and just be attacking that d6 pawn, or you could even think about just taking it, being a pawn up. So maybe the queen's the best go. Anyway, you took with the bishop. He ran away in the corner. Okay. Now it's probably getting close to time to castle, don't you think?
yes.
Yep, all right. I think we probably all agree on that. So the big question is which side? So everyone on the questions, type in whether you want to castle queen side or king side. Queen side or king side. So Heath likes queen, Sam likes king, Benji likes king, Thomas and Roman like king, Daniel likes king, Evan likes king. You're getting a pattern here. Bradley likes king. All right, which one do you like there, Mitch? King or queen?
Well, king would be better for safety,
Yes.
but the queen could, like, the queen and the rooks could kind of easily bombard the king side.
The king side.
So,
Right, what do you think about that? Is it dangerous to castle king side because the queen and the rooks are going to bombard you?
well,
How are the queen and the rooks going to bombard? So like say I castle king side. Where am I? Here I go. I'm castling king side. So how are black queen and rook going to bombard me?
doubling up rooks and
Where? There's no open files. My
e
knight-
file.
Yeah, but that's not bombarding my king.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So king side would have been much better. You went with the queen side, which gets your rook out, but makes your king a little bit airy. He brought his queen out, so that looks really aggressive. You went knight up there, so you're threatening check on f7. That could be all right. He ignored your threat. That's nice of him. So what sort of blunder would you say rook e8 was, if we have to classify it?
A time.
Time blunder? Why is it a time blunder?
Because
Is it material? Because you should jump in on f7 now, and then you get king g8. So you jump in here.
Yeah.
He goes there. You go check. So he's losing material.
Yeah.
So it would have been material blunder. Okay, but he didn't do it. You want to swap on the file. So now he moves his queen over there. So you can still hit him with a check. What's the rule, Ryan? What do we say when we're looking at tactical positions? Look at...
Look at all checks and captures.
Yeah, so you should have looked at the check on f7, and you would have seen that was probably a pretty good move. So remember to look at all checks and captures. Now, f3. What are you playing f3? So you saw the pawn was attacked?
Yep.
Okay, well, again, he's made his move. So, like, he's made his move, and you thought, what's he threatening? Oh, he's threatening my pawn. I'll defend it. But you haven't sort of stopped to say, what can I do? So you've got to look at both sides. What's he threatening? What can you do? He went rook up there. He's dying for you to win that exchange. Looks very tempting. So now you hit him with a check. So he has to take. So you've won the exchange. So that's cool. B6. What do you think about that? Is that a good move? What do you think, Mitch?
Personally, I wouldn't have done that.
I don't see what it does at all. It seems to be totally irrelevant. So what should black be doing?
trying to get an escape route for the king.
He could probably get an escape route for the king, and his pawn on d6 is attacked. So you've got to be careful. I think that's attacked twice by the queen and the rook. So he might be going to lose that if he's not careful. So b6, just total waste of time. Yeah, you took his rook. So you took his rook. Why don't you take the other one? Let me see. Take the other one. Is that good or bad? Let me think. Would that be good?
Yeah.
What do you think, Ryan? Would that be good?
Which one?
Should Mitch just play queen takes d6 because the pawn's there for free?
Well, I think rook takes rook is fine too because he has to take back with the knight or the queen and the pawn. But he can't take the pawn because of the hanging bishop.
Right. Oh, there's a problem.
Yeah, because
if you take the pawn, what could Black do there, Mitch?
take the queen.
Take the queen, yep, and then the rook on e1's undefended. Ouch. So that pawn's not really attacked. Yeah. So maybe he's just setting a trap, hoping you're going to take that pawn. So you might have done the right thing by not getting out of it like that. But now the knight is attacking the queen and the bishop. Okay, so you went up to d5. What's your idea there?
I think I was trying to get an exchange.
Yeah. So what's the rule when you hit on material?
Exchange pieces.
Exchange pieces. Very good. All right. So he said, no, I'm not going to exchange pieces with you. I'm going to get you in check. What should you do here? Move your king. Put your rook in the way.
Put queen in the way.
Queen in the way. That probably looks okay. Do you think that looks okay, Ryan? Would that be the best move, or should he move the king and put the rook in the way?
I would have moved the king.
You would have moved the king? Why would you move the king?
Because like the queen might be able to somehow maybe give him some trouble, like maybe grab the d6 pawn and everything. But then now the queen's pinned and moved back, and then he can gain some time by just taking a queen check, take it back, and then maybe he can defend the pawn.
Okay, so Mitch has got in his mind.
And take the bishop.
Yes. So Mitch has got in his mind, I've got to swap queens, but he's made a bit of a tactical boo-boo here because he's forgotten to say what can his opponent reply. So his opponent could have played queen takes queen, rook takes queen, saps the bishop. Ouch, so you would have lost a piece. You see that? So queen d2 was a mistake after all. So again, you have to ask yourself, what's my opponent going to reply? But fortunately, Mr. Shredder wasn't in take mode, he was in check mode. So he gave you a check, you went up there, and he was very friendly, gave you another check. Is that a good move? What do you think, Mitch? Good move or bad move?
Waste of time.
Waste of time. It's also a bit of a waste of material because you go there and now he's got a queen attacked, a knight attacked and a bishop attacked. So it's pretty horrible. So he did the queen swap. Now he's got two pieces attacked. So he thought he'd go there to check you. You went back. Now he's got to lose one of them. So he did a kamikaze there. Which one should you take, or doesn't matter?
Knight.
Yeah, probably the knight, probably doesn't matter too much. Bishop there, not sure why he went there. Rook up here. So why is your rook going up here?
To try to get that pawn.
So let me ask Ryan, is that a good attack, Ryan, attacking that pawn?
Well, it's not too bad because when he defends, he can also attack it, the bishop, like e6.
Right, so what do you expect Black to reply, Ryan?
Probably, wait, no, but then he replied g6, yes.
Isn't he just going to play here?
Yeah,
and that strengthened his pawn chains, and now his king can get out and everything? See, so you're sort of going for the one-move attack without looking at what he's going to reply. But you've got a one game, you're a rook up for a pawn or something like that. So you should be trying to kill all this counterplay. Maybe f4 or something like that to put a pawn on the opposite colour to the bishop. So there's probably not the greatest. You protected with the bishop. You went back again. He went over there, threatening a fork. Then you made there. Not the best move because you've left your f3 pawn on free. So he took it. So you've made a material mistake. You've lost a pawn in the exchange. That's getting a bit close now. He drops back, takes. Is that good, Mitch? You think he should take or should he do something else?
Take.
Why should he take?
Because he gets my rook.
All right, but what do you think, Ryan? Is taking a good move or a blunder? Rook for bishop, isn't that a good move? You win material.
Looks good, but then there may be a better move. You got to look at more moves, just in case there may be a better one.
I think maybe it's a time blunder, because is that rook going anywhere?
No, not yet.
No, so white's tied down for the moment. He can't do much because of the pin. So why doesn't black do a move he wants to do? Maybe g5 or g6 and get his king out and leave it to white unpinned. So taking the rook, you should have taken with the king probably to get your king into it. And now it's a little bit close, but the bishop can hopefully tie those pawns down. So black's overreached, and I think he can pick up his pawns because the bishop and the king are holding him. Yep. And guess what? You won!
Yay.
You knocked off the evil shredder. Speaks me all the time, though I have it on 2600 mode, which is a bit harder. All right, so there were quite a few blunders from both sides in there, but can you see the idea about thinking about the different sorts of blunder, the material, the space, the time, the king safety, and that helps you probably pick him up in the game. So like when he plays knight c6 in the opening, you can say, oh goody, he hasn't seized the centre, I can gain space, or I can play d5, I can gain time, forcing his knight to move, that sort of thing. So the main thing is to eliminate the blunders from your game. So Ryan, so how is Mitch going to eliminate blunders from his game? What's the best way to do that?
He's going to think about all types of blunders and make sure he does none of them.
Yep, and when his opponent makes a move, what's he going to ask himself?
What type of blunder is that?
Maybe, or more to the point, he's going to say, what is he
Threatening.
threatening? That's right. And then when he knows what he's threatening, he won't make a blunder in reply because he's checked it all out. All right, so thank you, Mitch, and thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed tonight's lesson. And I'm not sure who I've got next week. I think David's still to let me know, but I'm sure we'll have someone here for an interesting lesson next Thursday. So thank you all, and we'll see you next week.